Apparently, Chris Brown and Usher got into an altercation during his birthday party. Chris Brown had a birthday party. Usher hosted the birthday party. They got in a fight. Chris Brown wanted to talk to Tiana Taylor. Apparently, she didn't respond. He didn't like her reaction. And then Usher got involved.
Footage obtained by TMZ showed Usher attempting to calm Chris Brown down while he walked away from Tiana, seemingly pissed off and shouting in her direction. Chris Brown then reportedly directed his anger at Usher, calling him a coward before leaving the ring. Usher is said to have followed Chris outside, where he was jumped by him and his entourage, coming away with a bloody nose.
That is the alleged story. Whether or not I believe it, probably not. What do you think?
Initially, when I heard the news before I saw any video, I believed they were out to jump.
Yeah.
No questions asked. My first initial reaction when you even told me about it was like, dang, Chris, again, what do you do this time? That was my literal reaction. Why? Because Chris Brown's reputation precedes him.
Yeah.
He's done so much in the past, so many outbursts, private and in public. Of course, there's a major situation that set it all off that people never let him live down, even though she's forgiven him for it, which I won't mention directly. There's so many things that's happened that he's been a part of that he no longer gets the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
So until I saw the videos where it showed Usher the next day at his concert, getting ready for his concert, face looked fine, no bruises, no nothing.
Having a great time. See y'all soon.
I'm like, there's no way. And they've been boys for forever. Like, they've been boys since Chris Brown was a kid. I just don't see why all of a sudden after 20 years, Chris Brown's all of a sudden going to pop off and punch Usher in the face. But even with that, even with me knowing that, my first thought was he did it. Just because of his reputation. And I like Chris Brown. I like him as an artist. I don't know him, obviously, but I like him as an artist, but he had a temper. I don't know about now, but
initially going into it, to be honest, I didn't know what to think because I know before that people would target Chris Brown. Like about a year ago, Chris Brown had some girls say that he had touched her inappropriately. It turned out to be complete and utter cap. When it comes to this situation, it just sounded really unbelievable to me. Like even when I saw the video shows absolutely nothing. But I'm pretty sure that Usher was like a mentor to Chris Brown. And just to beef with someone that does the same thing. Because I know that like Chris Brown used to have a beef with Drake and everybody else. But like Usher is in the same industry as Chris Brown.
You mean in the same genre?
Yeah, he's the same genre. So, I mean, and not only that, but Usher's really big. So to beef with someone who's just that big in the same genre. And he's hosting your party. I don't know. The story to me just seemed kind of off. I'm like, okay, what in the world would make him that mad to even want to do that? And then it goes into another situation. So during this weekend, there's some video that leaked that showed Chris Brown getting into a heated altercation with like security. But Chris Brown cleared it up in the statement. Y'all been geeking all weekend. Y'all dragging it now. It was mad people backstage. Security was trying to clear everyone off the stage. And people started pushing back. And I intervened to let them know that my child was back there so y'all can keep your narrative. So essentially what he's saying is that his kid was in there. He wanted to make sure that his kid didn't get put into the whole thing with security. If you've ever been to a big event, security can be a pain in the ass. And a lot of times they're overly rough with people. They push people. They shove people. He just wanted to make sure his kid wasn't getting hurt. Like I said, Chris Brown, unfortunately, because of his past, he's a big target. It's really easy to make a negative story about Chris Brown if we're being real.
You know, that's why it's important. They say, especially when you're in the public eye, your reputation's everything. In general life, your reputation's everything.
Yeah.
And so you have to guard it with your life. And unfortunately, because of maybe his mental health. And again, I don't want to put it out here like let me start that over. I don't want to say he has a mental health issue. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He might be a hothead. Some people just run hot. Like, I can run hot myself, but not like Chris Brown from what I've seen. So I was like, yeah, he probably popped off. Typical stuff. Then, again, I see the actual video. Yeah. It looks embellished. I can tell he's not even that mad. It seems like he's trying to...
The skate video is literally like... It looks like
the Missy Elliott one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, the skate one, you're right.
It looks like he poked Usher, and Usher was like, all right, cool. And then, like, he went back to skating.
Right. Or even if they were having words, he wasn't like in Usher's face or anything.
No.
Usher looked mad chill, too. Like,
yeah, Usher...
roller skating. How you gonna fight a roller... I mean...
I was like, he about to do a move. Usher was like, all right, like, goodbye. Like, what? I think this also brings up a bigger point of why it's hard to be a child celebrity. Because as a child celebrity, you're put into one image your whole entire life. And as soon as you deviate from that image, or as soon as you have, like, even Robert Downey Jr., right? So Robert Downey Jr. had some drug issues way in the past. And this is 20 years forward, and people still bring it up. Because we all make mistakes. Listen, if I was set, like, Chris Brown, he entered it at, like, 15. If I was 15, 16, 17, and I entered in the industry like this, I'm going to mess up. And if my mess ups were put on blast for everyone to see it, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I see your point. Now, what I will say, though,
Yeah.
this is the thing about Chris Brown. And I'm not trying to, like, pick on Chris Brown.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to try to call it, like, how I see it. Whenever I hear people talk about Robert Downey Jr.'s drug abuse, they typically talk about how he overcame it and how he became such a big star after the fact. Oh. Whereas with Chris Brown, it's still that negative connotation, like, oh, he's...
But you know what I really think it is, though?
What?
I think it's also the way that Robert Downey Jr. carries himself.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's part of it. Yeah.
Even in like interviews and the way he talks and stuff like that, Chris Brown is an artist, so I mean it's a different lane. That's part of what makes his music so good is the fact of the way that he actually is.
True.
But because of that, like I said, it comes with a negative, which is the stereotype, which is it doesn't help that apparently he has gang affiliations.
Okay, I don't know
like,
about look. I remember,
he says it in his music.
I just don't. I hate you.
Yeah.
No say. But let me tell you something though. My sister's best friend, or one of her best friends.
Yeah.
Her best friend's brother is really good friends with Chris Brown.
Okay.
So she went to like a couple of Chris Brown's, or at least one. I don't know about a couple. Let me not exaggerate. But she went to at least one Chris Brown party that I know of.
Yeah.
And met him in person. And what she said about him was that he's very childlike. Not like childish, but like very youthful energy and spirited.
Yeah.
Which speaks to your point, I think, about how he's not a very refined guy. But that's what adds to his creativity.
Yeah.
Like you said. So it's like a double-edged sword. So he's not very polished. What he might need is a PR person, to be honest. Maybe he's a PR person.
Yeah, the thing about it, though, is when you have people who are creative, all creatives kind of have a certain, like, tilt to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, Lady Gaga, no one's going to expect Lady Gaga to become a public speaker or to be refined. So...
Correct. But Lady Gaga can carry herself, and I haven't seen many Lady Gaga interviews. But...
They're odd.
So she's...
They're odd. I'm sorry, they're odd.
She's an odd person.
She
showed up at like some...
And an egg.
And dressed as meat, right? Was that her? Like dressed as like a steak?
I think she was an embryo.
Oh my gosh. So, listen, there's a difference between pushing artistic boundaries and just acting a fool. And again, I rock with Chris Brown. I really do. And he seems like he's really changed. Like, I think at this point, it's no longer that Chris Brown even like has those anger issues like he did. I think it's just like his reputation.
Yeah. Chris Brown's grown at this point. He's got 2 kids. Mm-hmm. He's 34. He's not 24 anymore. He's not 21 anymore.
Right.
He pretty much stays to himself. Like, if I don't really see an interview from Chris Brown's pretty quiet in the media.
That's true.
Especially like these last few years. I haven't really heard too much.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
It just comes with being in the public eye. And I think when you're that talented, man, it's like you're always going to have eyes on you. Because listen, I've been to a Chris Brown show. Like, I like Chris Brown a lot. Like, Chris Brown is one of my favorite artists. And he's one of the best performers to actually see live. Like, a lot of live performers, like, they suck. Like, they're mailing it in. They're going like this the whole entire time. It's a lot of lip syncing. It's a lot of the fans singing everything. Chris Brown, like, you go to a Chris Brown show, literally, he's dancing. He's, like, singing. The stage is elaborate. The props are elaborate. It's a really good show. Mm. Also, if you like girls, they got every kind of girl that Chris Brown show.
I'm sure. No, shout out to Breezy, man. I have no beef with him. I'm glad that it wasn't true. Put it that way.
Yeah. I'm going to say, ultimately, man, leave Breezy alone, bro.
Right. Let him live.
Leave Breezy alone. Let him live. Let him be with his kids. Stop blowing things out of proportion. I'm actually curious to see how this rumor even started.
Somebody online said Chris Brown popped off and punched Usher, and then TMZ got a hold of it. It shows him skating around, dancing, and supposedly that's the evidence. I don't know. When they pointed at Tiana Taylor with the arrow, I didn't even see her.
I didn't see her at all either.
Man, I don't know. Man.
I didn't see her at all. No. I didn't see anyone mad.
No.
I didn't see anything aggressive. And then people are like, this is the evidence. This is exactly what it is. Like, no. And you're looking at it, you're like, so they're skating?
Not to mention the most clear evidence to clear Chris Brown's name is that Usher the next day was just having a good old time with nothing, nothing. Like, nah, come on. If he got jumped by Chris Brown's entourage, nah.
Yeah, he'd be stomped out.
Yeah, he's not gonna. Or even if he got punched, you would have saw something. Unless Chris Brown gave him like a light hit or something. But
not only that, I'm sorry, like, most people can't take L's, bro. So I couldn't imagine him being, like, I couldn't imagine him getting on live and then being happy and smiling the next day if you just got jumped.
I see what you're trying to get at, but again, it goes back to Usher being chill. Usher's grown. And, like,
But getting punched in the face, bro.
No, if it's a 1-on-1, that's different. Like if
Yeah,
if I lose by 1 and I get knocked out, okay, maybe my ego's hurt. I got knocked out by 1 dude. If I get jumped by 10 dudes, do I even stand a chance? I mean,
but that brings up another thing. If you got stopped out by 10 dudes, you would be tore up. You'd be in the hospital.
No, of course, yeah. That's what I'm saying. The evidence that's clear. He's good. So obviously nothing. I mean, very unlikely that anything really happened as far as physical altercation.
Yeah.
Between the two. So. That's what it is.
All right, guys. So this has been your boy Sherm.
It's been your boy Jay.
And we are out. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And let us know what else you guys want us to cover. All right, guys.